I'm RC Jim, and we're now into the final stage of our repair on this Black Horse Super Air. We've gotten started with putting on some of the filler, balsa filler, in various places. We'll be sanding that off, and then we'll be covering it. So watch, and you'll see hopefully some really good results. Well, there's nothing particularly magic about this filler. This is what we're using here. So you put it on there, let it dry, sand it off, kind of like plastering. And as with plastering, you know, pro really does it nicely and all of that. Me, I struggle. But anyway, fortunately, it's just a matter of sanding. Starting out with coarse sandpaper to get it down, and of course we'll put a second coat on here. But for the final sand, we'll be using a fine grain sandpaper. I realized after I did this that we still need to put 2 pegs in here to fix this thing to the point. But we'll go ahead and get this stuff done first. We now have a second lot of filler on there. I'm using 240 grit sandpaper. Some of the block, just some by hand. You'll also notice that I'm doing the little cowl cover thing with it in place so that we get it real precisely even. Some of these places where previously we just had used the coarse sandpaper, I'll just go over them lightly with this to get rid of the bruise. Okay, so we've got a little bit of an issue that we just discovered back here. This balsa is cracked in several places. So we need to zap that. And we need to push it up from the inside a little bit. I'm going to zap sawdust onto it. Okay, let's see if we can get in here with this. And that did it. Part of the balsa didn't want to stay in place, so I had to hold it up with a screwdriver. Applied the glue, and then holding down with a piece of baking paper over top of it, was able to keep it in place as the glue set. While we got this out, we might do the little touching up that we still have to do. Got a little bit here, a little bit here, very tiny bit right there, and there. And now we'll get into the wing. Every once in a while I just give it a bit of a spray of water in there just to try and keep the moisture content up. Well, it's raining in Brightwaters. So apologies for the noise, but prior to doing the covering, I've had some thought about servo placement and things like that, making sure that everything is done that needs to get done before I put the covering on. And I've had an interesting thought, and that is having elevons. So back here, the elevator, not just simply working as an elevator, but also working as ailerons, and having that feature something I can turn on and off. So if I want to do extreme type stuff, I can turn it on. If I'm landing and doing things like that, turn it off. Already we've got two, it's already set up to have two control horns at the back, and it's got two tubes running up to the front. So it's already set up to have two things on it, but I don't have room for an extra servo up there. So what I thought I might do is do a couple of micro servos and put them back here. Stick them in the bottom, right about there. Okay, so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to put a couple of cross pieces in. And this first one I've purposely selected right on top of this join here to help solidify the join and to make certain that I've got good strength going across where the servos are actually located. So I'm going to zap that one in place, and then I've got another one that's going to go on the other side. So I'm going to get this one positioned and glued in place first. Got my glue ready. I want to make sure it's perpendicular, and with a square, given that the sides are not, straight lengthwise, it's pretty hard to do anything with a square. So I've got a piece of wood that's cut square on the end, and I'm lining that up to where I've got equal distance each side there, and lining up where I've got equal distance in the back, and then I can sight down on it and get that positioned right where I want it. And I want to make sure that this one seemed to be coming loose a bit. Now, while we're waiting for the glue to dry, I want to stick these two servos together. I'm going to use this double stick tape to do that. I could glue them together, but I think this is a better approach. They will each be fastened separately, but this will help position them. Peel the backing off. Right together. Okay, now for that we're going to need two holes. The other thing I'm going to do is glue a little piece of timber on the back side here with some holes in it to run some screws into. And that's the back one. Okay. So, goes like this. You can see I sanded just little bits on the ends just to get the right height to have the servos to where the face of the servo is just right up against the structure there. Just using the servos as a bit of a guide to get that positioned up there nice and tight. Can't get any more snug than that. Now, why didn't I put some baking paper in there? I'd leave it glued in, except for the fact that they're not quite centered. Okay. Well, that wasn't wonderful. Well, I certainly messed up there. I've unstuck the servo, and you can see the glue got in there on the one. I've taken a bit of sandpaper and just sanded that off a bit. Now I've busted out the thing that's in there, and I've got just a little bit of it remaining up underneath there. I've got to clean that up. So Jim's special tool number 767.5. We will glue some sandpaper to this little piece of wood. To get it with one edge pretty well right up to the edge of the wood. Okay, and I'm going to use that to clean that area up a bit. Oh, got a bulkhead in there. Yeah, what do I end up doing? Okay, I don't want to dull my good saw blade, so what I'll do is I'll cut down part way through it and then use a blade or something to get the rest of the way. Okay, so I cut down that far. Okay, there we got the rest of the way through. And so you got a little something glued to the side of this thing. Clean that off. That's the side we'll be using there. Okay, so this little bit in here is what we're trying to get. So working this back and forth allows us to clean that up to get a nice... There's not much at all over here on this side. Okay, now to make a new piece for that. So there's where it's going. And I'll shorten it up and put a bit of an angle on it. Good. And down, depending which way you're looking. Precision engineering measurement here with the eyeball. And the rain continues. I love my sticky tape. Use it for all kinds of stuff. Position that, then we drop it out, and then these things out of there. Okay, and now I'm going to hold it up in that same position, take this off, and glue it. Okay, so that should be nice and solid now and in the right place. Now I need to get my little blocks of wood to put on the other side of that. Okay, so I've cut two pieces. We need to get them the right width. I'll do the sanding thing again. Now they're going to go that way. So I'll be able to glue that up here. That'll be really solid. Okay, and one for the back. Okay, 13 millimeters apart. we're going to drill our holes, and hopefully we get them nice and straight. Make sure those things are straight down. And I think I'll just hold it like that to drill, and hopefully it'll stay put. At least it'll be able to mark it. Well, my tiny drills with big shanks aren't long enough, so I've got to use an ordinary drill. And these drills are too small to lock into the chuck. Yeah, that's with that totally shut. So what I have to do is I have to take some tape, and I have mentioned that I love my tape. So I'll take some tape, and we will wrap it around the bit, and basically just give it something to take up some space when the drill clamps onto this. It can scrunch any way it wants, but you've got an equivalent amount of tape on each side, and it doesn't need to be perfectly centered anyway. Okay, so I'm going to start out with this back one because it's not held in place quite as solidly. I'm going to use a block of wood to protect my finger. Hold it from underneath. And this one I can get right up against the other one, so I know it's precise. It's looking good. And distance out. And the middle of that's going to be fine. The outside maybe a little bit. Be real careful you don't drill into your finger. With the elevator servos now installed, we're ready to get going on the covering. Well, it's a rather lengthy process, but boy, you know, RC Jim is really working on it quick here. But we're going to leave that actually for the next video to go into detail on that, because we went through a lot of things and gave a lot of tips on things to do as you're covering. So make sure you don't miss it. Click on that little subscribe button down in the lower left-hand corner. And well, while you're waiting for me to get that edited and get it available on the channel, have a look at some of our other videos on the site. As you can see, the link there on the right-hand side. You have a great day, and happy flying!